Of our breaking news this hour, 2 people are confirmed dead and 200 injured in a blast that has ripped through a fertilizer plant in the US state of Texas. Local residents have been advised to evacuate from the area in the town of West, just north of Waco. Firefighters, ambulances and helicopter support are at the scene. This is the moment of the second blast which caused that devastating damage. Eyewitnesses say fire took out apartment complexes nearby, schools and houses, some of which have collapsed. People are still trapped in some of those houses, and the rescue teams are trying to get to them as we speak. Well, in addition to this, hazardous materials have also been released from this plant, and various experts have been dispatched to try and tackle the aftermath of that explosion and to try and prevent toxic fumes from spreading to nearby areas. A local Department of Public Safety says they do not have information at the moment on the exact number of people that have been killed in the explosion. The official figure at the moment is 2, but many, many more were reported dead by local media just in the hour or so after the explosion. All local hospitals are coordinating with each other to house the inflow of patients, many of which are believed to be in a critical condition. We did hear from Sean Thomas there, an RT correspondent who lived for a long time in Texas. He said that there are people that have been injured will be airlifted to 2 major hospitals in this area, one at Houston and also one at Waco, who should be able to deal with the horror that they with the horrific injuries that they will have to treat people for. The cause of the blast isn't yet known. I have said that mobile phone footage you may have seen just a couple of minutes ago gave an indication that there was an initial fire. That's what we were hearing from local media. And then firefighters were at the scene when a major second blast took place. And that is what has caused this devastation. In what is only a small community, something like only 2,500 people live in the town of West, which is just north of Waco in Texas. Well, the social media sphere is now bursting with comments on the tragedy. Eyewitnesses have been posting some of their footage and snapshots of the blast scene. These images are from Twitter, which users are, of course, actively using to discuss the disaster. The massive smoke cloud from the blast was pictured by several people, and images of the mayhem in areas surrounding the plant are also being made available. The scenes, as you can imagine, are immense. The devastation is immense. Buildings are still burning at the scene. These are just some of the images that you've managed to capture and post on Twitter and other social media. Well, I believe we can now get the latest from RT's correspondent in the States, Gianni Chichikian. Gianni, thank you for joining us again. It's been a few hours since that explosion, but what more can you tell us about the rescue efforts so far?
Well, we know that people are being evacuated from the area, taken as far as possible. The biggest worry that the officials now is that this another explosion, another major explosion, can rip through this town of West in Texas at this plant. And what they're worried about this because there is another fertilizer tank that is intact. It is right there at the plant. The fire is still going on, and rescue services, they are struggling to get to they're struggling even now to get to the people who are trapped in the homes that have already been flattened by this massive explosion that local residents, that people who witnessed this explosion, they compare it to a nuclear explosion, something like this. We've heard all kinds of accounts. People are devastated. They compare it to a war zone. We know that dozens of buildings nearby collapsed after the explosion. Now, the Department of, the latest information we have, the Department of Public Health says probably over 100 injuries, 50 to 75 houses damaged. This is what we hear from the Department of Public Health. we know that the explosion happened near a residential area. We hear about apartment buildings, about a nursing home engulfed in fire, and then we have the whole of town of this town of Texas, of West in Texas, appears to be engulfed in fire. This is what we see from helicopter footage that we're getting. Hospitals are told to be prepared to receive a very large number of injured. We have 2 confirmed deaths so far, but there will be officials. Many are saying there will be many more, just given the impact of the explosion and how massive it was. Local media report dozens of fatalities. Nothing confirmed as of yet. 2 deaths confirmed, and there could be more.
And we know, Gianni, we know that the explosion you mentioned earlier when we spoke to you, it happened at around 7:30 local time in the evening. Do we know, was the plant manned at that time? Is it a 24-hour plant?
Andrew, I don't know that.
And in terms,
I don't know if it was operating at the moment, but it did explode near a residential area. The plant was in a small town of West in Texas, so it did affect a lot of people. Although maybe at the time there were fewer people than there could have been if it ripped through the plant in the middle of the day.
Are we any clearer into the events leading up to this explosion? I know it's too early to say exactly what caused the blast, but there was this initial report there was a fire there that firefighters attended, and then there was this secondary blast. Have we heard any more about that?
Andrew, that's it. That's all you said. That's all we know. Officials are not giving any information on this. This could have been an accident, but we don't know what caused the fire. It is too early to tell.
Mm-hmm. OK, Gianni, well, look, we have got, I believe, an interview that we can now play with a fireman who was at the scene. So let's just hear what he has to say.
I can tell you I was there. I walked through the blast area. I searched some houses earlier tonight. Massive, just like Iraq, just like the Murray building in Oklahoma City. Same kind of anhydrous exploded. So you can imagine what kind of damage we're looking at there. I know there was at least 75 to 50 to 75 houses damaged. There's an apartment complex that has about 50 units in it that was completely just skeletons standing up. There's a nursing home in the area that 133 people in the nursing home. We've got them evacuated. I don't know what their injuries are there right now, but all injuries have been removed from the scene and taken to local hospitals in the Waco area. We had numerous agencies helping us all the way from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, McLennan County, Limestone, Hill, Bosque, and all the surrounding areas. So we've had a great turnout to come out to help us to get through this tragedy that we've had in this small community.